Hubert, this part of the schedule has offered you guys a lot of time for film and prep, practice. What have been your main takeaways from all of that and what you've learned about the elite level required when you go to Hawaii and play there and then play in the Maui Invitational?
Probably the first thing that I've talked about is consistency in terms of discipline and details. You know, it's we have shown signs of playing great defense and being efficient on the offensive end, and it's about starting there and staying at that level, and you just have to do it. And so building habits, consistency, playing at that elite level, defensively, rebounding, taking care of the basketball, and dominating points in the paint. So those are things that we talk about daily, and those are things not just in regards to this upcoming week or week and a half, but for the whole year. That's just going to be important for us, just tightening the screws on the discipline and details and diving into that.
By the way, I forgot to tell you, Jalen Washington is the player that will come in after Hubert, if you want to ask him.
Jay Washington.
Jay Washington.
Hubert.
We're screaming.
Get the chest too.
Oh yeah, he did the chest too.
Just beating himself up.
Yeah, it's nice.
Hubert, why did you think it was valuable to play an additional game in Hawaii at the University of Hawaii before playing in Maui?
Well, I mean, the schedule's already set, so, but it's an opportunity to compete. It's an opportunity to play, and getting on that time zone, I think, is important for us. And when I was assistant for Coach Williams, prior to the Maui Invitational, we always played either on the West Coast, whether it's in California, or last time, I think it was 2017, we were in Honolulu. So this is something that's been done before.
I believe you said you don't really like tournaments where you play 3 successive days. Will you be playing in those after this season?
I haven't said that I don't like it. I've never said that I don't like it. It's an honor and a privilege to play in the Maui Invitational. It's a tournament. Not only have I coached in as an assistant coach, but it's also a tournament that I played in as a player, and I have tremendous memories from that. And so, again, it really is a blessing and an honor to be a part of such a prestigious tournament that has a lot of history, especially in regards to our program, and we're really excited about the opportunity.
So in the future, you plan to play more of these tournaments with 3 successive days?
That's a great question. My head is not thinking there in terms of what we're gonna do in the future. You know, my mind is really on the preparation for Hawaii, but I'm open to anything.
What's the balance that you try to strike when you get to do cool things like this as a team, like going to Hawaii, being out there for a week? Obviously, I remember being in the Bahamas last year, and the guys were going on like the water slides and stuff, and the casino was, you know, Roy was in there. What is the balance you try to strike where you have these high-level opponents?
Well, he has more time on his hands, so.
It's true. There's some other guys in there too, but it's fine. Where you have these high-level opponents, but you also have like a cool experience to sort of take part in.
No, it is. I think also playing in tournaments like this, it gives our kids an opportunity to be able to experience something that, one, they may never be able to experience again, and 2, they never even thought that they would be able to experience. So to go to Honolulu and to go to Maui, that's something that our guys have never thought about and dreamed about. So giving them opportunities and being able for them to experience things that they've never experienced before is something that really brings joy to my heart. And obviously we're out there to compete and to win and to become a better basketball team, but there's also time there to spend time together as a team, enjoy time together on the road, and be able to experience different places. And I just think it's a lot of fun. It's things that I remember for the rest of my life. I remember my time in Maui, my sophomore year, and waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So Coach Guthridge took us on this bike ride. We had to go to the top of the mountain, and then we rode the bike all the way down. When we started, it was pitch dark. By the time that we got down to the bottom, it was, you know, bright, and it was hilarious.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Thinking about it at 54, yeah, it does. But at 20, I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
How many miles were in that?
I don't know why we did that. I don't know why we had to wake up at 5 in the morning to go ride bikes, but
So Coach Smith wasn't there.
Coach Smith wasn't there, it was Coach Guthridge. Coach Guthridge always did the excursions things, yeah. That
Was
was,
that your first trip to Hawaii, your sophomore, first time you'd ever been?
yeah.
What was that whole experience like?
Whole experience was, the first game, we were down 9 with a minute to go against James Madison, and King Rice hit a leaner floater bank to win it. Then we beat Villanova in the semifinals, and then we played Missouri in the championship game, and I was 0 for 10, and we lost.
Was Hawaii kind of what you expected it to be from probably your ideal of Hawaii before you get there?
Yeah, it was. I mean,
Out there.
yeah, it really was. I mean, it was beautiful. The people were terrific, and to be able to see water and the beach as clear as that was a really cool experience.
You guys out-rebounded Kansas in their building, and you doubled up American the other night. Are you pleased with the direction you guys are headed on the glass?
Yes, I've been straightforward and direct that we got to be a great rebounding team, and we want to dominate the boards on both ends, not just defensive rebounding percentage, but also on the offensive glass as well. Yes, that was good that we out-rebounded Kansas. We out-rebounded a bigger team in Elon, and then we were able to dominate the boards against American. That's huge for us. I've been straightforward and direct that, the number one determining factor in outcome of the game is rebounding the basketball. And so for us to rebound that way in the direction that we're going is something that we stress and talk about every day, and how important it is for the success of this team.
Drake had 11 the other night. He looks like a guy that's going to be a high-volume rebounder the way he plays. What is it about him that kind of leads you to believe that he's going to be one of those kind of guys too?
Well, I mean, fundamentally he's sound, so he's always boxing out, and he has the athleticism and the length to be able to go get it, and also the drive to be able to do it. I think he can be one of the best, if not the best, rebounding guard ever in Carolina history once he consistently goes to the offensive glass. I think he can be a great offensive rebounder, and so 11 rebounds is something that wasn't surprising to me that he got against American. It's something that we need for him moving forward.
Hubert, do you have an update on Ian Jackson, James Brown? Obviously,
They practiced yesterday.
Practiced yesterday. So you kind of anticipate they'll be good to go for Hawaii.
Yeah, I anticipate them, but they practiced fully yesterday.
Hubert, with the setup in Maui being like it is with 3 games in 3 days, do you sort of treat this like you would, an ACC tournament run or an NCAA tournament run, as far as just practice and logistics and scouting, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different than the NCAA tournament in regards to, it's 2, and then you get another week if you are fortunate enough to advance. But, it's basketball. We're playing 3 games in 3 days against great competition, and one of the things that I like about this team is the versatility and the depth, especially playing 3 games in 3 days. And so I'm hopeful that that'll help us be fresh, whomever we play. And so, but the approach is to take it 1 game at a time. Obviously, our mind is fully on Hawaii, and after we play them, then we'll focus on the next game.
Is there a common thread or reason for the slow starts that you've seen for at least 3 games this season?
Yeah. No, I think they've been slow both ways. I think it's been slow a little bit in terms of the rhythm offensively, but I would say against Kansas, we got off to a pretty good start at the beginning of the game. And then it was after maybe like the 10-minute mark, and that's when we struggled defensively getting stops and would turn the ball over on the offensive end. So I wouldn't say it was all 3 games. Again, it goes back to just the consistency that we're looking for, playing at a high level on both ends of the floor and being able to get there and to be able to stay there for a full 40 minutes.
Hubert, this year, I know you were asked about Elliott the other day, but it seems that through 3 games he's kind of taken you know, more of a command, I guess, of the offense, if you will, as far as, you know, kind of running the show, things like that. I guess to what extent have you seen that? I know he's a more comfortable player at this point, but how have you seen him kind of, you know, taking control in that way and just kind of getting everybody involved and things like that?
Yeah, you know, well, first of all, I'm not the type of coach of, you know, he's the one that controls the offense, he's the one that gets everybody involved. I've said a number of times, the more playmakers that we have on the floor, that's good news for us. And so we have a number of playmakers, RJ, Seth Elliott, Drake, a number of guys that have the ability to make plays. And so that's really beneficial for us. But the play of Elliott, I'm just really happy and proud of. I was saying to my wife the other day, you know, that's one of the best parts about this job is to seeing guys grow and continue to, like, not just grow off the court, but also their growth on the court. And just to be able to see the difference in level of confidence and awareness out there on the floor of Elliott is really fun to see, and it's fun to be a part of, and I'm just really proud of him.
For all the good things that Drake does, he's so versatile. Is offense something that you talk to him about? Because it looks like sometimes he might pass up a shot or defer, just being unselfish and keeping the ball moving. Like, is that? I mean, he's obviously very good defensively and all these other things. Like, do you talk to him about offense? Do you try to maybe encourage that from him?
My conversations with all the players in regards to offense is whatever is in your bag, I want you to be able to use it. I want you to be able to use your gifts and talents out there on the floor. I don't recruit, I don't play, I don't coach role players. We obviously talk about what are good shots, what are bad shots, what are efficient shots. Those are things that are important to us to get a good shot every possession, but I want guys to be fast and free on the offensive end, and whatever is in your bag, I want you to be able to use it. So if you can shoot, shoot it. If you can drive, drive it. If you can shoot a hook shot from half court and make 50% of those, then do it. The question comes, is that in your bag? Is that something that I've seen you practice and practice or practice before and after practice? But Drake has the freedom to be able to do whatever he wants on the offensive end because of two things. One, of his skill level, but number two, his ability to take really good shots.
We get Jalen here in a few minutes. When you think back to his path to this point, what he had to deal with the knee injuries and everything else, and showing the patience he did to get to where he is now, is there a measure of satisfaction just seeing him out there playing 25, 30 minutes and seeing his game blossom and gaining that next level of confidence in order to be able to play that many minutes here?
Yeah, he's gone through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, all the way back to high school, missing his senior year. I couldn't imagine having to miss your senior year, and then his freshman year wasn't really cleared until halfway through his freshman year. And I remember the first time that we put him on the floor was in December. And so being able to watch him now be out there on the floor for long periods, defend, rebound, run the floor, really it's the best. I was joking about it, but to see that emotion out of him, that was an emotion that came from, yes, he made the basket, but also look what I've gone through.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've said before, and maybe I'm taking this one too far forward, but those are the tears that guys have at senior night. It's not because everything went great. I made every shot. I never turned the ball over. I got every rebound. It's also the perseverance through difficult and tough times that have allowed you to get there. And that reaction that he had in the game against American, I think it was more than just making a basket. I thought it was him being out there on the floor and all that he has persevered and gone through.
Is he a guy that you needed to have conversations at times dealing with this, because that first year he didn't really play? He was thrown in there against the Virginia and Louisville, but otherwise didn't play much. And then last year had to show a lot of patience, or is he just wired in a way where he handled it well? You guys saw him handling it well, so he didn't really need any extra love or encouragement or whatever.
No, I spend a ton of time with the players and relationships with them and talking with them, and I think Jay Wash has always been about the process and understood that it's going to take time, and that's something, especially now in college, that it's harder for guys to be able to do. And he really took advantage of that time that he was out. He took advantage of practicing against Armando every day and being able to watch him and how he prepared, how he played, how he practiced. And he's getting that opportunity now. And I always tell the guys, you know, you are going to get an opportunity. I can't tell you when, where, how, in the manner in which you're going to get it, but when you get it, are you going to be ready? That's the question. And Jay Wash has been ready.
Time for one more before we go to Jalen.
Is the Jay Wash that you see every day, that we saw on Friday, the one that you see every day in practice? And what do you think are next steps for him in order to consistently perform at this high level?
Yeah, he's always laughing. He's always joking around, and we joke around with each other. And I also push him too, because as well as he's playing, he has more in the tank, and I want him to reach his full potential here. And he's an unbelievable kid. To be around him every day and to be able to coach him, but to have a relationship with him is something that I value tremendously.
We'll go get him. Thank you, Coach.
See you guys later.